Welcome to episode 25, season 2 of Red Wings Rant, where tirades and impassioned pleas about your Detroit Red Wings finally have a home. Mike?
Man.
We've got, what do we got? We got two huge, big, fat, stinky losses to talk about, and then we've got, Mike, we've got some of the best that the Central Division has to offer coming up next for the Red Wings, so we'll see what happens. Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
Before we get into all that, Mike, we got some business to take care of.
Yeah, we do. We got some big business to take care of.
Oops.
Oh, yeah. It's not quite time for the macho madness. Yeah. That is college basketball in March. Yeah. Get it. All right. Ow, I think a vein busted in my neck on that one. But that doesn't mean the macho madness, fun has to wait. DraftKings Sportsbook. You already know it's the top-rated sportsbook app.
Ooh.
It's true. Go ahead. Look up best sportsbook app.
The cream of the crop.
Yeah, the cream will rise to the top, Mean Gene. Yeah. And rising to that top is DraftKings Sportsbook. Yeah. And they're giving all new players a chance to win $100. That's new customers. Sorry, old customers. Your old hat. New customers, you can bet $1 on any team to hit a three-pointer in any basketball game this week, as long as it's sanctioned. And if your team makes it rain at least one three-pointer, makes it just a drizzle of three-pointers, you cash in for $100. That's right, all it takes is for one three-pointer being hit by your chosen team to turn $1 into $100. Sounds like a no-brainer to me. Yeah, this slam dunk of an offer. Bam. We'll be around forever, so head to the app right now, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, and get in on all that macho action. Yeah.
And if basketball isn't for you, DraftKings Sportsbook can help you score if you play hockey, soccer, and so much more. DraftKings has paid out over $7 billion to its customers since 2012, so they know a thing or two about big paydays. All right. Everybody, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code THPN. Your shot to turn $1 into $100 when you bet on any team to hit a three-pointer in any basketball game this week. That's promo code THPN for new customers to get a shot at 100 to 1 odds on any basketball team to hit a three-point shot. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older, New Jersey, Indiana, Michigan, or Virginia. Only new customers only. Restrictions apply. Winnings paid out. $25 free bets. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or in Indiana, 1-800-9-WITH-IT or in Virginia, call 888-532-3500. That's right.
All right.
That's right. I did it. Woo!
All right. Business is out of here. Let's do it. Man, we got shellacked back-to-back. Man, it was 11-3 in those two games. Bingo! Woo!
Remember the last episode we recorded where we were talking about what a great job we did with Larkin being out, and it was just man. That's what the problem was. Is obviously you keep Larkin away from this team. No, it's
remember in the late '90s, Tal Bachman. He was like, "And she's so high above me. She's so lovely." And then that guy just petered out. That was our high point of the season because it is over, son. Woo! Back to 11-3 in two games.
We got that song, you and I, from LimeWire. Are we 100% sure that was the artist?
It was definitely Tal Bachman.
Okay. Because I would never touch that. I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole because I'd be so scared. I've been screwed so many times. I used to think there were Nazareth songs that were actually AC/DC songs.
Oh, yeah.
Flip that the other
way.
Hair
of the Dog is one of my favorite AC/DC songs. Yeah.
Remember the first time you screwed that up in public and you were like, oh, God. No, I swear I like rock and roll.
That's like Michael Scott, how he really likes, The Boss, but all his favorite songs are Huey Lewis songs. So I totally know where he's coming from. Matt, these are some pretty rotten games. We were riding high, saying, you know what, let Larkin take a few days off. Have a go ahead and recover, bud. And I think the Red Wings themselves went on vacation. This is pretty rough. Bernier, that Bernier levy, it finally broke. Let me tell you. Grice also had a pretty rough game, so I guess Blashill's back to doing the coin flip.
Real quick, from Wrestling Plug, is 4 years strong? Is that a Bachman? Is that a Bachman reference? It's a cover. I'm not sure.
Wow.
Oh, now we're getting asked if we auto tune this. Of course we do. So high.
They would probably prefer an auto tune at this point.
I thought I was doing an impression of one, but yeah, I just gave away why we need one.
Fun fact: Tal Bachman's real name is Talmaj Charles Robert Bachman, and he did write the 1998 hit "She Is So High."
It's a pop punk band who covered that song. But I used to pride myself on my Steve Perry impressions, which, if we ever make it to the playoffs, I will be more than happy to finish every episode by singing "Don't Stop Believin'." That would be, it'd be my honor as a Detroit Red Wings fan. I don't know if you noticed.
Forward to this playoff drought, let me tell you.
Right. How fine am I with that? Put that on DraftKings Sportsbook. All right, Mike, you were bringing up those crappy hockey games, and I was avoiding it because it hurts. I got excited, and we went through 2 games with a -8 goal differential. It's just so yeah. How do we want to dissect this? Because we can start with talking about Grice. He's had obviously a rough season, but he had one of his worst games of the season. Mike, he had one of the worst. We talk about high danger. He had one of the worst medium danger games that any goaltender has had this season with a .692 save percentage.
Now, for the layman, all right, in basketball, there's a 3-pointer, and then there's like a mid-range 2, and then there's buckets right near the actual hoop. What is a medium danger chance? What is that?
All right, so this would be a high danger chance in basketball, right? That's a dunk. Right, you put Shaq underneath the net. Medium danger, I guess. I almost said Rip Hamilton with the bunny, but he was lights out with that, so that's not good. That's also a high danger.
Would you say it's more of a mid-range jumper from like between the 3-point line and the actual hoop?
Yeah, I mean, like if you're talking low danger and you want to talk like actual percentages that would compare to basketball, like low danger is putting Ben Wallace at the 3 line or at the free throw line. Like that's low danger. Hack a Ben, put him at the free throw line, low danger, don't have to worry about it. I mean, I think Grice ended up being like 100% save percentage on his low danger shots. So same thing as Ben Wallace, he'd miss all those free throws.
All right.
So medium danger, yeah, let's maybe it is just a 3-pointer if we're talking. I can only talk.
So Ben Wallace outside of 3 feet. Ben Wallace. Gotcha. So Matt, where on the ice is this located? On the offensive zone.
It's not only like the location of the shot. You have to keep in mind like a rebound is a high danger. So this would be maybe that first shot and then the rebound, from that. So I mean, this could be anywhere from like those circles coming out, or I'm sorry, the middle of the circle coming out. High danger is right up there, but you're also talking about those rebound shots from the. It's so tough to explain. Like we need like I should
try erase thing
up. Yeah.
Exactly. Come on, coach.
But yeah, then the low danger shots are, you get those shots from the point where you're trying to break through. But if something's tipped, they can also read that as high danger because obviously that's the highest danger shot because that is the puck moving in a completely different direction. But it also has to hit the net. So just so many different things that need to come into play for something to be high danger. But I would say anything that's getting, there's an actual number I'm betting that I could go by, and I don't have to lie to everybody. So while I'm looking that up, What else happened in this game, Mike?
It sounds like a very subjective process here, game per game. Is there an objective way to do this every game, or it kind of depends on every carom, tip, and deflection?
I'm sorry.
Oh, I just asked, would you say that it is objective, or it's kind of more subjective depending on caroms, tips, and rebounds?
I guess so. We also have to qualify everything we say with where we got our statistics from. It's always for us. I go to natural stat trick, and we have to say that because everybody's measuring everything a little bit differently. So I think it's a mix of the two. It's just like with anything in hockey, Mike, including that wonderful subject we talked about before the show started. There's gray in everything, so you can't really go. If anybody could throw out a guess about what we're talking about. Here we go. Medium danger chances would be all unblocked shots in the scoring chance region outside of the slot and the crease. So there. So that's where you get the high danger would be obviously in the slot, in the crease. And then, of course, the ricochets in the
one time when I was watching a Detroit Tigers game, we weren't very good, and I actually got the score sheet out, and like I wrote down every time somebody got like a strikeout or a flyout or a single or a double. Matt, do you envy the guy who sits in the stands and keeps track of medium scary chances versus high alert scary chances?
I think about this all the time of how are they doing this? Because I do. I would say once a week. I think like we're in the middle right now of doing like our grades.
By chance, is there a Gary Goldman bit where he already put this together?
You mean like his state abbreviations?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
For the three people who will listen to this and will get the Gary Goldman reference, thank you.
Hopefully Gary Goldman, when we tag him in this and put it on Twitter.
Now I forgot what question you were asking. Oh, right. So I think about this probably once a week, and I'm like wrapping my head around like, is this an automated thing, or is there a person who's watching each and every one of these games? Because if you go to Natural Stat Trick, it's calculated immediately. You can go and look at like Grice and Bernier's stats and see how many shots they've gotten thrown at them that are low, medium, and high danger. So there has to be some automation to it, but I just don't know how you do that when you're watching. Like there's a television that's playing the game, or you could be in the arena. Yeah. But it's not like the NHL puts that stuff out there. So where are you getting these statistics? Natural Stat Trick, you son of a.
Well, it's like in baseball when they try and keep track of errors, Yeah. Then you're like, well, that guy, the ball went off his glove and he didn't catch it. That's an error. And then, they're like, well, that one was pretty hard. No error. What? He didn't catch it. Well,
I mean,
it's hard. You got like a fat lumbering.
Hard. I mean,
then you might have a fat lumbering third baseman who can't even reach the ball, and he's not close enough to touch it with this glove, but he doesn't get credited for an error, even though the error is his athleticism and he doesn't touch the ball. So would you put this in the same realm?
Once we get an answer from Natural Stat Trick, those crafty sons of so-and-sos, I mean, probably, right?
I would want to see the confidence of the Natural Stat people to every shot.
I love the idea that somebody's listening to this right now going, no, they have a contact with SAP. And
thinking machines, supercomputers.
I mean, like, think about, they just did like the I don't want to say computerized. They have the tracking thing on the puck that they were trying to do this year, and the players could tell the difference. So they stopped using the puck. I don't know if it ever came back into play, but that was just this year. So it's not like Natural Stat Trick's been like, we'll drop a puck out there and every time it takes a shot.
Wow.
Well, no. That's not what they did. We know they couldn't do that because the puck was just used for the first time this year. So,
wow, I didn't know a tracking puck was the equivalent of a fake boob. You're like fake, man. I I mean,
Yeah,
we do want to talk some hockey, but it's just this stat just fascinated me.
I didn't know if
basically it's another yet another way to.
Wait, I have a funny joke. Let me say it. They had to send Elaine into the sauna to see if it was a fake puck or a real puck. All right, go ahead.
Oh, bingo! Look at Matt referencing Seinfeld. My man.
Yeah, look at us with our...
It's basically we found another way to quantify our suckitude. That's what this boils down to.
I like that our pop culture references are like a low danger scoring chance. There's a very low probability of people going, oh, yeah, good one. I get that reference.
The Red Wings esoteric rant. Here we go. Woo! Yeah, let's I mean, Grice and Bernier both had a pretty rough couple of games. Man, there had to be something positive out of these two games, though. I know you got it queued up for us. What was the positive out of this?
All right. I mean, it's Svechnikov. I mean, so like I said, I'm in the middle of doing the mid-season grades, and obviously you have to give Svechnikov an incomplete, but he's having an unbelievable
like an A+
start.
to me.
Right. It's an unbelievable start, and this is where unbelievable is coming from. 3 points in 3 games. His PDO, Mike, is like, it's not in a statistically significant area. It's not like and you bring up PDO to actually have this conversation about puck luck, and you can actually measure puck luck, and that's why this thing is useful. You actually, if anybody wants to consider not, if you want to argue the usefulness of PDO, our friend of the show, Jay Fresh, who was on back in December, had a long Twitter thread about why PDO is useful. He had one example of why it's not, and then about 20 examples of why it is. But most of it comes back to measuring puck luck. Like you're not going to sit there and think about who has a better on ice save percentage or who has a better on ice shooting percentage. You just want to measure that against the rest of the league and go, well, things could be going a lot better for so-and-so. And for Svechnikov, it's just right in the middle. It's right down the middle of the road. If anything, his on-ice shot percentage is lower right now than the league average. I think it's a smidge higher, but his on-ice save percentage is just absolutely like disgusting. It's like 55%. So when he's out there with the shots that were going at the net, 45% of those shots went in. It's ugly. So to wrap all that together, you just make the assessment. All right, the pucks just aren't going Svechnikov's way, but he's gotten expected goals so far. I did an expected goals for per 60. This puts him at number 1 on the team, and a lot of that is because he hasn't played a ton of hockey and he had a great start. But it's at 3.7, and like you look down the lineup, Dylan Larkin's at 1.6. So
this is like week 1 Bobby Ryan.
Yeah. This is where we have an elite superstar after 3 games. No. So here's why you bring this up, ladies and gentlemen. We don't bring this up to say that we have an elite superstar in Svechnikov. You're just happy that things started out this way as opposed to any other way. And mainly, and it's because of we'll get into this point later, it's because you wanted to make sure Svechnikov stayed on the team, hopefully past, but at least up until this Carolina Hurricanes game where him and Andre can finally bump heads. So I, for one, am pretty thrilled with this. I think it's the one shining light. As Svetch already had a good game that we talked about in the Red Wings win against the Blackhawks. But this is just where it's kind of continued. I will say he fell off quite a bit in the Blue Jackets game. Wasn't that effective. But when you have 2 great games to start, you can have a third stinker, and I could still sit here and have the same conversation that he's doing good. So yeah, I threw the caveats in there. That expected goals for per 60, and again, you measure that to put everything on an even playing field, right? So you don't want to just measure expected goals for, or that goals for percentage is what we measure sometimes, because he hasn't played a ton. So you're basically extrapolating what he's done across the same amount of time that Mantha has played or Larkin has played. But we still sit there and go, wow, he had 2 very good, productive offensive games. And think about Mike, his line mates have been changing. But, I mean, that includes playing with Franz Nielsen and Filppula and having to bring those boys up. So Hats off, because nobody else has been able to bring those guys into relevance. All that mixed together. Some of this is repeated from the last episode, but good on him.
It's nice to have a reason to kind of rehash because I think
Right.
we've just been with bated breath waiting to see Svechnikov kind of crack it open and start showing us some of the reasons he was a first rounder. It's for me, it's just doubly encouraging because we get to talk to Red Wing fans and friends and family alike, and sometimes it's hard to bring up because there's not a lot of cream rising to the top to talk about when we gotta look at some of the aged wonders who are filling our second, third, and fourth lines, and to finally see this guy getting another chance to crack the lineup. And when he does crack the lineup, he gets to, positively contribute. It just, even in a blowout, you still get to feel like, well, I still get to watch one of our kids develop. So it's encouraging stuff. So I'm glad that, this is starting out well for him. And I'm glad he's going to get to play his brother this Thursday.
And the last thing to throw out there, I would say like the focus here has been on that expected goals for. So basically, we're sitting here saying this all wraps around to whatever he's doing when he's in the offensive zone. Mike talked about his bad on ice save percentage. Now we could talk about Greiss having a bad game. There's a lot of different things that can get mixed into that, but he was on the ice in that last game against the Blue Jackets for all four of those goals. So no, you know what? I'm sorry for three. I apologize. That was incorrect. For three of those is what I'm seeing on here from Natural Stat Trick. So, it might be trending south, but a good start offensively. All right. Thanks, Natural Stat Trick. Moving on, right?
Yeah, let's put on those Svechnikov beer goggles. I'm just going to watch the offensive production and just ignore the defensive laps there. Whoops. So, man, we got some of our injured heroes might be making the leap back. Larkin, Twos, and don't call me Stetcher himself. They're all coming back. It doesn't feel like they can come back soon enough, especially after what's been going on here. We could definitely use them defensively. At least, I'll say two and a half of those three guys are pretty good defensively. I know that we were probably, they give you that estimate if a player is going to be out, 1 to 2 weeks or 2 to 4. And with this season, you definitely just err on the side of caution and go the extra week or two. But it looks like, a couple of reinforcements are coming. And much like we've talked about since week 1, this team has a 50% chance to win if every single player is healthy and we're playing a team that doesn't care about scoring. So as soon as all three of those guys come back and nobody else gets boo-boos, we should be back on track to winning half of our games against bad teams.
Right, and like we also have the Lightning and Carolina 3 times in the next 5 games. So those are your top 2 teams in the Central Division.
Oh
right
man!
Now.
Well,
and after that,
did you say 4 games or 6?
The next 5 games. So 3 against the Hurricanes, 2 against the Lightning. Of course, the Hurricanes game coming up. So that's where we've already been referencing Gino and Andre going at it. Oh, there we go. Pete likes the Stetcher off the stretcher. I would caution still. Like, I don't know, because we keep getting these updates like Bertuzzi is skating, but then Blashill is so obtuse with his... You know what? He's not even obtuse. That's the wrong... He's just flat out said there's never been a timetable for Bertuzzi's return. And it's just kind of like, all right, he's skating, but what does that mean? And then he threw on the caveat that... they didn't come on the trip, so obviously they're not playing in Carolina. I feel like that gave him at least the weekend to not have to talk about it.
Yeah, smart.
But Yeah, right. So now we could just go, hey, they didn't show up, so we'll figure it out next week. Because it is Carolina tomorrow. So of course we're recording this Wednesday night. If you're listening to this on a podcast, that means tonight, so it's Thursday. Yeah. Mike, then we've got a little bit of a break. We don't play till Tuesday, and that's going to be the start of our Tampa Bay series. 2 games, super stoked. We remember how well those last games went against Tampa.
Yeah. What a performance, huh?
Another 2 against Carolina. Now, yeah. I'm more fearful of the Carolina games because they're still the team I picked to win this division, but you can't not fear Tampa. Like, they're still Tampa. It's terrifying. But that's, I guess, to go back to the point, what we were talking about here, right? I'm losing our subject. Bertuzzi, I'm going to say question mark. Larkin was, like, questionable for Columbus. So I'm betting Larkin's coming back. And Stetcher I feel pretty good about too. But I know we're all hoping we're going to get Tyler back because we want to see special teams playing like it was when Bertuzzi was there. So
Right. Yeah.
Oh, with that, Mike, I thought it was a good idea. Maybe we could save. I didn't realize actually that we'll actually get to a whole nother podcast and only have this Carolina Hurricanes game to talk about. So hopefully something juicy happens on Reddit between now and then. But you've got
you sly dog, you.
Svechnikov brothers are tangling, Mike. I thought I'd go through our 3 keys to the game. And then maybe I can snip this out and put it on a blog, and then I have a video for it. Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm being sneaky. All right. So Carolina comes in. Mike, they've always been like a Corsi dominator for the last few years. We were talking about it when we were asked if we should bring Rod Brindamore over. They're just possession fiends. That's they get the puck, they throw it at the net. They just need to pick better spaces to throw the puck at the net because we were just talking about expected goals and high danger chances. That's where if they turned it up and had the conversion rate for all of their shot attempts, if they were a little bit higher for those shots that we mentioned to get a higher expected goals and to get a better high danger opportunity, they'd be unstoppable. But that's where the elite talent maybe has avoided, or what do I want to say? Not avoided them. Evaded their. No, that's not a word. Evaded.
Yeah, if you evades, buddy, gotta be evasive.
Yeah, the elite talent so far has just sort of evaded them until this year everybody's getting sort of these standout opportunities with Carolina. So with all that being said, I still picked them to win this division. I still think that that puts them in the conference finals for the Stanley Cup. Depending on who comes out of the East, we'll see what happens. And I'm also assuming that the Central faces the East and the North faces the West. I don't know. Does anybody want to confirm that? Can anybody confirm that?
One conference will be Kanye West's child, Northwest, and then the other one will be.
That'd be so cool.
I don't know. Maybe it'll be EC3. That'll be the other one. We'll throw a little EC3 reference out there for you.
Anyway, so my 3 keys to the game. Just here's the thing. What's actually influencing my keys to the game against Carolina is the fact that we are done. Right? I think these last 2 games really put us. This really solidified.
Here's my question for you, Matt. I like to pepper you with questions. All right, so one of your keys, I'm reading ahead. Svechnikov on the top line. So
here's where I'm going.
Here's my old question for you. Okay, I don't think there's any question that at this point we should see what the kid's got. I know he gives up 3, 4, 5 goals a game, but god damn it, he puts a few pucks in the good side too.
It's not entirely true. It's hard. Sometimes it's hard to measure, so we're not going to say it's entirely.
All right. So here's my question. All right, when you say put Svechnikov on the top line, do you mean to switch up the lines again, Blashill style, or we rock and roll with Nielsen and fill in the blank and Svechnikov? Just give them more minutes.
Make them the starting line.
Just crank up their ice time. Is that what we're doing, or are we putting our boy Evgeny at I don't know, some combination of who is our top line? Mantha and Zadina? Is that what you want to see?
The last game, it switched up with Brome and Bobby Ryan with Fabry.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So if I had to build a top line and I needed Svetch in there,
he actually goes by Cough, but
okay. All right, if I'm gonna put Cough on the first line, I mean, you got to be okay with where Robbie Fabry's at. I actually taking a look at like the midseason grades. He loves turning the puck over, Mike. And of course, while Luke Glendening is just absolutely tearing it up from faceoff dot, Fabry's fine. He's like, bottom half of the league. So yeah, there's that. But I still think from an offensive perspective, you really could handicap this lineup and hurt it based on what we saw defensively in the last game for Svetch, for Koff.
Yeah.
So I'm still okay with it. I think the safer route would probably be Nemestikov and Svechnikov, and that would just be fun to say a bunch of times. And you know what? Just for Jesse's sake, our blogger and his man crush on Philip Zadina, we'll put Zadina with Svetch. I can't do it. We're gonna put Zadina with Nemestikov and Koff.
We'll put the Koffs together.
All right. Pete wants to throw out there: does Bert come back in the top 6? If Bertuzzi comes back, and I'm saying Larkin is definitely coming back for the Tampa series. If Bertuzzi's also back, they have to absolutely put Mantha, Bertuzzi, and Larkin back together because that was like formidable. That was an actual first line that could get the expected goals, get the high danger chances. They looked great last year. They didn't look fantastic this year, but we also learned that Larkin had been playing with an injury all year. But yeah, I absolutely. Bert goes into my top. He's in my top 3, Pete, to let you know. Now, if that does happen, that'd be great. So I'm fine still saying that's my first line. And then our second line is that mix that I just threw out there. I'm cool with that because then Bobby Ryan can try and make Sam. Like those two are playing amazing at their point per game pace. Bobby Ryan and Sam Gagne is very impressive considering they're both at $1 million and then 850,000. It's quite a steal for Mr. Yzerman. All right, so. Thanks, Pete. I didn't finish my other 2 points. I wanted to throw out there, get back to the basics because these last few have been, Blashill strategy nightmares. So we haven't kept to what we were supposed to do. We haven't been limiting chances, and especially against the Carolina Hurricanes, who love throwing the puck at the net. Just make sure they don't get into those high danger and medium danger scoring chances. Let them throw up 40 shots in the low danger areas. That's fine. And I know that it's really easy for me to say, but they've proved it this season that they can actually get that done. So whatever was missing, get back to that. If it was because Svechnikov's in the lineup and he hasn't had a ton of time to practice with Blashill, then hopefully that's what was going on in the practices today and the morning skate tomorrow. Just stamp it on his forehead. This is about limiting scoring chances, both sides, so we can actually get a win. And then the last thing, Mike, like every game, is the power play.
Got to grab the pee-pee.
That's funny because your audio is off a little bit, so
yeah,
you just looked at the camera and without moving your lips, just said with your mind. So I also the headphones here. So just a bit of Professor Xavier impression. You said, "Got to grab the pee-pee."
Got to grab the pee-pee.
I didn't know if I was supposed to. It was terrifying for what I'm seeing on my computer.
We just got Mantha pee-pee goal. We're getting our boy Twos is coming back. Matt, the juice is feeling it on the pee-pee. Matt, we got all our pee-pee guys ready to go. I don't know. We're probably going to get annihilated again. I'm not putting money on this game.
Well, I'm going to say this. I'm putting Svechnikov on the PP because he had a hell of that goal that he put in, that was a beauty. I think he's made his point that this, power play, if he can get some space, that's a good opportunity for him. And
if you want to do damage control and he gives up too many goals, just keep putting him on the PP, because at least we outnumber the other team for 2 minutes. And he'll do less damage that way.
The rest of this team has proved that time and time again, when Bertuzzi's not on the ice, that they struggle to score on the power play. And I think this is 3 straight games we've got power play goals, but we all feel it. It's just a matter of time.
It's a matter.
Just gotta keep your fingers crossed that Mantha is gonna have that one good shift, and then that's something we didn't even get into. Is I have some videos saved up for Mantha, so maybe we'll go into it on the next episode where we will only have one game to talk about. Yeah. But just real quick, Blashill liked his game. He had a goal on the power play. Mike, he was like one of the worst performers on the ice in regards to expected goals for his lines. And I had a video of him just kind of lazily skating around the ice, and instead of keeping the puck in the zone, he just skated out of the zone and just threw it backwards. I commented truly inspiring. Truly inspiring was my comment on that video, but I actually ended up deleting it because I felt kind of bad. But it's still something I think we should all see. So we'll do that in the next episode. Everybody,
like? Remember the Eminem hit song, "The Way I Am"? And he's like, "The song is for anyone. You know what? Fuck it." That's what that play looked like. Yeah, we got any other hockey points, Matt? We're going to put off that prospect discussion for another episode.
Yeah.
That's going to be our new segment. We're going to kick the can. We're going to kick the can on another discussion point and put it in the next episode.
I mean, Scott Wheeler's going to have a new prospect pool rankings by the time we talk about this.
He's going to have the 2023 rankings ready to roll for us. So I guess we can ride off into the sunset, unless. Yeah,
it's getting rough. I can tell your mind is on AEW wrestling right now because you're probably looking at your phone.
I just watched Shaquille O'Neal take a bump through a table off the ring apron. Shaquille O'Neal, and he got wheeled away into an ambulance, much like the Red Wings the past 2 games. Nice. A flying crossbody from the Blackhawks put us through a table, and our season's over again. I do have a Who's That Pokemon ready if you want it. I got it.
Oh, all right. Let me pull up. I had our comments up this whole time. We lost all of our viewers because we were wrapping up, but whoops. Right. It's time.
I feel like you just pulled up a nude. Whoops.
No, my screen. I've been looking at pictures of Jeff Blashill all day.
I meant to look up not Jeff Blashill nude. Oh, no. All right, everybody. Who's excited for another edition of Pokemon? Starring head coach Jeff Blashill, read by color commentator on your Detroit Red Wings broadcast on 97.1. It's Paul Woods, kind of, as read by me as Paul Woods. Matt got another juicy quote here. It's not from head coach Jeff Blashill. It's actually from a secret player to be named, and he's talking about another secret player to be named. Matt, are you buckled in?
Yeah.
Well, here we go. This quote is fairly recent here, so I'm going to go ahead and do some diddly-doo, skiddly-doos. Here we go. I feel like Blank's just a kind person. He's always going to care about you. He's always going to ask you if something's wrong. He's a culture guy, but obviously, he gets a little emotional sometimes. Player laughs to self. He's got to work on that a little bit, probably. End quote.
Definitely Thomas Grice.
Mr. Ridden himself, huh? Mr. Comedian over there, huh?
All right. He's got to work on his...
So... I'll read it for you one more time, and hopefully we don't hear Thomas Grice name dropped again, you trolling troll. I feel like he's just a kind person. He's always going to care about you. He's always going to ask if something's wrong. He's a culture guy, but obviously he gets a little emotional sometimes. Player laughs to self. He's got to work on that a little bit, probably. End quote.
I mean, are we just talking the captain? Are we talking Dylan? Because he's always checking out everybody?
I don't know, man. Does it get a little emotional sometimes? Laughter to self?
All right. Anthony
Come on, man.
Mantha.
Final guess. What do you got?
Anthony Mantha.
All right. That was the Svechnikov brothers talking about each other.
Oh, my God.
Andre talking about Evgeny. Matt, are you excited to watch Andre and Evgeny go against each other? Evgeny is...
Cool if, they both put up hat tricks.
Andre said that his brother's a kind person, blah, blah, blah. Laughs to self. And Evgeny said Andre is humble, shyness, respectful.
Nice. Okay. Well, I'll have to take a look at that. Is that from The Athletic?
Sure is. Yeah, it is. You got to pay top dollar for quotes like that, Matt. And that's another exciting edition of Who's at Pokemon.
Yay! All right, everybody, a couple quick plugs. If you haven't seen it yet, we are giving away an autographed copy of the Nicholas Lindstrom book, Pursuit of Perfection.
It's actually pronounced Nicholas Lindstrom.
Oh, don't forget that N, guys. Just search on Twitter for Lindstrom, and you will find Red Wings Rant. No, we're giving away a book, but you have to like and retweet our tweet and tag a couple people. And, of course, you can only win if you're following us because we have to DM you, and that's the only way we're going to be able to do it. So make sure you do that. It's kind of like another part of winning the contest. So if you don't follow us, maybe you should. But, yeah, check that out. It's at BOD Hockey. But we also, as I mentioned a couple times, are working on our midseason grades already. I want to make sure that gets out on time. I just realized that because of the break for the Tampa Bay Lightning series, I do have a ton of time to finish this. And I got all the way down to Mantha. So I got down to M. So I'm going to have to go back and do some redos on the stats, especially I finished Mantha after he scored a power play goal yesterday. So that needs some updating. But keep an eye out for that. We're going to come out right when we hit that halfway point, which is very soon. And we'll let you guys know it's not looking great. There's some surprises. Mike, maybe Sam Gagne might get some surprises from people, and in a positive way, maybe in a negative way. I might surprise you with Zadina. And definitely an interesting conversation will come from my grade on Anthony Mantha. I'm excited and giddy for people to read it and hopefully let me know how
I'm excited
wrong I am. And
go ahead.
What?
Sorry. I was excited for the next person that you grade because then it's Nielsen.
Oh, yeah, I'm stoked for that one. Yeah, I've got Bobby Ryan coming up. I can tell you right now, I haven't done it yet, but that's going to be an easy B+. But God, yeah, check out the Anthony Mantha one. I'm sure it'll make some of you very angry, and some of you will laugh, and some of you will. I don't know. It's not going to make anybody happy. I know that.
I'm upset already.
All right. I can tell. All right, everybody. Find us at BOD Hockey and at brothers_of_discussion on Instagram. Please go to our Apple Podcast page and subscribe, rate, and review for us. It does us a world of wonder. And we have the YouTube page, Brothers of Discussion, we hope you check out. And that also means you should check out our pro wrestling show, which goes live every Thursday night. And those podcast episodes are always available for you by Friday, but sometimes I post them like at midnight on Thursday. But yeah, check all that out. And that all starts at bodpodcast.com and brothersofdiscussion.com. Oh, and Mike, we had a ton of purchases for shirts and stuff. So Matt got his payday. So that's a good time for me to remind everybody to go back to the Brothers of Discussion.
I'm still waiting on my delivery.
Now I got my money. Go to All right. Anybody, if you have problems with receiving your orders,
I'm listening.
Feel free to contact us in the middle of the show.
Matt, I have an issue. Where's my shirt?
And we'll contact who's making the shirts for us. Wonderful job, Mike, to bring that up. I'm sure everybody's going to run to the shop now and buy T-shirts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If anybody buys anything, you have any trouble, please DM us. And I will say, we had a problem before, and the second I messaged them, everything got fixed. So if you do have a problem, it's only been a problem once, but if you have a problem, just DM us or, find us on our webpage, bodpodcast.com. You can send us a message through there. We'll take care of it as soon as possible. All right, everybody. Mike, thanks for bringing that up. Nobody else has had a problem, so I'm glad you made our shop sound great.
I like to legitimize. Yeah, no
thanks
problem.
for tuning in, everybody. God damn it.